late this evening, one of the world's great entertainers and musicians, John Lennon of the Beatles, was shot outside his New York home.
So, Chris, if you can, just tell us where you were the day John Lennon was shot.
I was in my parents' house on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I was watching Monday Night Football, and Eyewitness News, the local news, broke in to say that a man identified as John Lennon had been shot outside the Dakota. And then just as the game was ending, Howard Cosell announced to the world on Monday Night Football that John Lennon was dead.
An unspeakable tragedy confirmed to us by ABC News in New York City. John Lennon, outside of his apartment building on the west side of New York City, the most famous perhaps of all of the Beatles, shot twice in the back, rushed to Roosevelt Hospital, dead on arrival.
You were working at Rolling Stone at the time.
I was the receptionist, yeah.
You were the receptionist. What was the mood like at Rolling Stone?
The mood was complete devastation and a desire to do the greatest tribute to his life and work imaginable. But my job was to buzz people in as they came in the morning, and the looks on their faces were unforgettable. It was not just that he was a Beatle. It was not just that he had done a decade of amazing solo work. It was not just that he was coming back happier and healthier, it seemed, than he'd ever been. It was also that he was a New Yorker, and that during a time when being a citizen of New York City wasn't always seen as the greatest thing in the world, or the city was not, he was proud to be here. And for all those reasons, to lose him was completely devastating for everyone.
You know, so many artists say they've been influenced by the Beatles, by John Lennon. I know you've interviewed so many. Is there any that you think that you can really see his thumbprint on today?
His thumbprint is on everything that we associate in the culture in a way. He had a level of creativity that was unmatched in the history of pop music. You know, it's like the old thing in St. Paul's Church in London. If you seek his monument, look around. Just look around at what we value in the tone of the communication from the internet to music to TV. That's John Lennon's legacy.
If you had the opportunity to tell a young person who's maybe not familiar with Beatles music or just passingly familiar to just really go seek a couple songs, which songs would you point them towards?
You know, when it comes to John Lennon, you could throw a rock at the Beatles catalog and you could hit 4 or 5 great songs. But my favorites would be She Said, a song based on something that Peter Fonda whispered to John Lennon on a pool out here in Hollywood. Dr. Robert, which I think is influenced by all the Motown music they were listening to at the time. Dr. Robert. And then Rain, which a lot of people thought was their greatest just oral achievement. And that's a song that was playing out of an editor's office the week he died at Rolling Stone that I remember really setting me back emotionally. That line, I can show you that when it starts to rain, everything's the same. Everything wasn't the same. And 30 years later, everything still isn't the same without John here among us.